Sports at BoomerNaturals.com. I'm John Thayer on 1590 WSMN, Nashua's News and Talk.
I need to get some new shirts for my business.
Just call Sal.
Does he do screen printing also?
Just call Sal.
Does he embroider shirts too?
Just call Sal.
I also need business cards and brochures.
Just call Sal.
How about yard and lawn signs?
Just call Sal.
And promotional products to give my customers?
Just call Sal.
Who is Sal?
I'm Sal. My wife Jennifer and I are the proud owners of Fully Promoted of Southern New Hampshire. If you need embroidered or screen printed shirts, business cards, brochures, lawn signs, promotional products, and even personal protective equipment for your business or organization, just call me or stop by our showroom, conveniently located at 410 South River Road in Bedford, right off the Everett Turnpike. You can also visit our website at fullypromotedsnh.com. That's fullypromotedsnh.com. We are your one-stop shop for all your promotional needs. Fully Promoted of Southern New Hampshire. Our business is to help you grow your business.
Just call Sal.
No one in New Hampshire wants to worry about how to pay for winter heating bills. If you qualify financially, the New Hampshire Fuel Assistance Program is available to help. Simply call 211 to be directed to your local community action agency to apply. Home heating assistance may be only a phone call away. Dial 211 today. Or check out nh.gov for more information on how to apply and to see if you qualify for assistance.
Hi, I'm Tony Joyce from Joyce Cooling and Heating. Fall is here, and that means you may or may not have tried your heating system. Routine maintenance and filter changes are the best things you can do for your health and the health of your system. Another thing you can do is call Joyce Cooling and Heating. Our installation and service techs are trained and equipped not only to repair or replace your equipment, but also to respect your home and health. And remember, that's Joyce Cooling and Heating, 882-4244, or on the web at joycecool.com.
The Rayla Campbell Show. Hard-hitting, no filter. Leave that PC stuff at home. Representing the bars and stripes. A mom, a patriot for American values and the American way. And now your host, Rayla Campbell.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. This is Rayla Campbell, and you are listening to The Rayla Campbell Show, live on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM, also on the web at WSMN.live, and we are streaming on my Facebook page at Rayla Campbell for Congress. It is so good to be with everybody. Good morning, Flo and Dennis in the chat room. It's good to see everyone. Yes, it has been quite, I would say, a whirlwind couple of days. You know, as we all know, I didn't make it. But, of course, we've got 2 more years. So next time, I need it up a little bit. Next time, we have 2 full years to go. So we're going to be campaigning, and we're going to make sure that we're on the ballot. And it's going to be a whole nother game plan. So, no, it's still a little low. Hold on, I'm having ear issues. Is that? Yeah, that's better. That's better. Okay, there we go. I can hear myself now. So, let's talk about what's going on out there with the voter fraud. This seems like something we have in common, the president and I, considering I've been through this exact thing on our primary in September, with it taking how many 8 days to count the ballots for me as a write-in, and mysteriously we couldn't get in there to see them. But it was COVID. You can't go in there. No, where, you know, you can watch it from over here, but you can't stand there above us seeing what actually is written down on the ballots, what's right, what's not. So everything that's happening is really, it's true. It's voter fraud. And it's the only way that the Democrats think that they're going to win. But we've been on to their game. I've been on to it. The president's on it. We know he's won. We know we've got 4 more years with President Trump. But what the hell is going on in this country? And why do we think that this is going to be the new norm? People are already talking about it. Oh, that's going to be, now we're going to have mail-in ballots all the time. Do you want to do this all the time? It's going to, not till Tuesday, they're saying, on some places, Tuesday. Seriously. It has been ridiculous. We should know right now. We've got 4 more years of President Trump, and the Democrats could sit there and cry and have a meltdown and start planning all of their riots and everything. And now we've got to have a delayed riot plan, protest, whatever. But no, having ballots counted after the date what they're supposed to be in is illegal. Michigan, I mean, it shouldn't shock me. Look at Michigan. Look at that governor. I cannot stand that woman. She is pretty crazy. And the fact that they're finding ballots dumped in a ditch. Like, let's think about this. And they were all for the president. And then, all these delayed mail-in ballots that, I think it's also in Michigan, that they hand-stamped. A man came forward talking about how they hand-stamped the ballots that came in late and came in yesterday, backdating it. Really? So this is their way of cheating because they can't win legally and because people have woken up to what the Democrat Party is actually all about. Keeping us down. It's become class warfare. They want to ban everything. They want to control. Look at Baker. Oh, my gosh. He puts a curfew in before, the election even started. We're expecting this, and we're going to make sure nobody's out after 10 o'clock. Absolutely not. That's not happening.
Why do you live in Mass?
I
gotta ask, because just about everybody I've ever known in my life, all friends and everybody, they're all from Mass. Refugees, I should add.
Leave.
So I mean,
but I was born and raised there, families there, and the people, most of the people, the core of the people were really good.
Yeah.
It's my home. It's hard.
The communities are good.
Yeah.
The people of Mass are good people. Otherwise, I wouldn't have so many friends who are from Mass.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. It's like if I had to go through a Rolodeck of all my friends and put a push pin on where they're from, Mass, Lawrence, Lowell, Boston, Cambridge, Chelsea, Everett, and on and on and on. And Framingham. So
it's hard. I'm thinking about it, jumping up, leaving, coming up here to New Hampshire. But it's hard to leave your home and where you've been your whole life. And that's me. I'm a Bostonian. I'm Massachusetts. But I guess it sticks with me no matter where I am, no matter where I go. But we've got business that needs to be done in Massachusetts. We're just looking at what's happening and looking at all the fraud that's happening, how many seats were going uncontested. That's just, if we want any changes, we need to stay there and fight for it. But it also is do I want to stay there and keep fighting against this evil, corrupt machine with people that we need more people to want to run and get involved? Are they going to do it? It's a lot of talk, and you got to do the actions. I'm doing the actions. It's a lot of hard work, but I want to do it for the people of Massachusetts. It's like the same thing if I came up here. I'd be fighting just as hard for the people of New Hampshire. I mean, New Hampshire, incredible. They went so red except for the congressional seats, but the state and the local levels, that's the stuff that we need. And I need to know how New Hampshire did it so well and why we can't do it in Massachusetts. It's difficult. It's really difficult. But I get that asked a lot.
That's not a question I can really answer. I'm not really even a New Hampshire native. I've only lived here approaching 18 years.
Well,
so
pretty long, though.
I'm from Maine, so it's kind of like Massachusetts too. But I left there. It just was nothing.
Yeah,
it was nothing. And not to drift way off the subject, but I mean, if you next summer, if you're inclined to take a drive up Coastal Route 3 and 1, up through Belfast and beyond, or wherever your destination may happen to be at that point, and you will see a lot of depressed areas.
Yeah,
just a lot of dead houses that cost money to topple them down and remove them, so they leave them there. And just it's really heartbreaking.
It's a big problem. That's a problem in a lot of areas.
And for a state like Maine, that depends on a good chunk of its yearly revenue right out of the summer season along the coast. This is bread and butter right there.
And you don't want to, you can't drive up through something that's just, this isn't beautiful, what's happening. Right. It's very depressing.
They don't have paper mills anymore, and they don't have shoe factories anymore, and they don't have this factory and that factory and that factory and that factory, and on and on. So that's kind of what they're left with.
I've seen that when I was out in Western Mass, in like the Gardner area. You're going through, and like the center of town is just dilapidated. The buildings are falling apart. Everything's shut down. They used to be same thing, so big with factories, and that's what we need. We need to get these factories back up, build here, buy here. It's all American, and just really work on our communities. And like you look at what's going on, the drug problem is so rampant, and it's so bad, and that nobody wants to talk about it. They just want to keep ignoring the problem that's out there. And I've driven, like when I was going through Boston, and I, hitting some of the polling locations, it's sad. It's really, really sad. You have just some buildings that are just completely falling apart, and they're big brick buildings. Of course, that's going to take so much money to take it down, to have somebody come in there and fix it. But why is it looking like that? Why aren't the leaders in these communities getting in there to fix them up? They're just like, oh, no, that's good. It's a good look for it.
I think comes down to why Detroit has fallen into the depth of disrepair that it has over the last several decades as a Democratic-run city.
Yeah. It's all about their pockets.
Yes, as long as the money stream doesn't get interrupted as it's passing into my pocket, then that's status quo for me.
And you look at those schools, and like we have the highest per capita per student, and our schools are not doing good at all. What is happening out there? That's what you look at what's going on within your school systems. And you, as a parent, need to address the teachers, the superintendents, the principals, and we've got to take accountability for ourselves too, and what we want for our children's educations, and fight against things that we see them putting in place that are wrong. Wrong practices, changing the way we're learning our history. And, just always teaching kids that their class, but color of their skin makes them a certain way. Like you're better off because you're the color of your skin. And that's the whole thing that they've been doing out there with this racial divide. And they're like, no, we haven't had any changes. It's still 400 years ago and during slavery. Oops, my volume's on.
Well, the Democratic Party has been known as the party of slavery, and now the party of racism and bigotry.
Yeah.
And they use it as a weapon. I call it, years ago, I said to somebody, this is reverse racism.
Exactly.
It's not whites against blacks. It's not blacks against whites. I hate saying it that way because I don't like referring to people by their skin color.
Right.
This is my friend John. Whatever. It's like you hear other people say this, and there was a comedian, George Carlin, who pointed this out just because we pointed out the idiosyncrasies of our own language. We don't really pay attention to them. Nobody else seems to either. And this is my friend John, who happens to be black. And here's my friend Carol, who happens to be gay. It's like, why does a person's skin color and sexual preference have to precede them before they enter the room?
There's their label. Like, we've now labeled them as a certain...
It's like they identify with arbitrary, immutable characteristics that can't be changed. No matter how you feel about yourself, you just can't.
No, but why? Why do we have to do that? We don't.
No, we don't.
We don't. And it's the left, and the way that whatever they're teaching in these colleges. And that's really what it's coming. It starts early, and it starts in but the teachers that are going out there and they're coming out of college with these ideas in their brains, and they just are entitlement, and how they just look at everybody as a color, as a sexual orientation instead of the individual. And that's where I'm getting so confused on what they're actually teaching them in the schools, because I wasn't taught the 16,
these people have
19.
Harvard and Yale's degree. They're way smarter.
But they're not.
No, they're not. Not at all.
You think about them being, it's not at all when you see what they're doing and what they're teaching and just lobbying with just with China. I mean, when they put up that Chinese Communist flag, and yeah, I know they do it all, they've done it for like a couple years, but why are we doing that? That country has basically tried to rob our country blind, taking all of our jobs, making all of everything we get is like from China.
A century ago, you might have been brought to trial and accused of being a traitor for doing something like that.
Yes.
And then summarily put to death.
Yeah. And same thing with sports. It all goes back to China. They're worried about, our money and how big it is over there. Basketball, like I don't even want to care about basketball. I don't want to watch it. Don't want to talk about it. I don't even want to watch a single sport because of how they've gotten so involved in politics and how they just care about what China wants over what the American people want. These are American sports.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you want to watch international sports, there's plenty of options for that too.
Yeah.
There's the Olympics every 4 years.
But no, there's not anymore. We've now COVIDed. When is that going to happen? Now it's all thrown off. Like all of the athletes, why couldn't they continue? It's just we shut everything down. We've now caused such tension and divide and just chaos throughout the whole world. We should have never shut down. Should have kept moving forward the way that we were going. The president had everything was amazing. I mean, jobs were great. We're doing great. The country's getting back. Buildings are getting replaced. People are investing into them. Our roads were getting repaired. And the Democrats were like, no, you can't do good.
It's a well-timed catastrophe. Almost as if it was planned.
The plandemic.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't believe much of anything of what is said on TV.
I try not to watch. Well, I can't. And that's like a lot of...
You kind of can't, not watch it either, because you need to, as you're doing your... while you're in the political sphere, you kind of need to know what's going on.
You have to watch it, but then...
Even if you can't figure out who's giving you the straight story, but...
That's why you got to do the research. Yeah. So it's like, yes, I watch this, and then I change the channel, and somebody else is saying this. Like, I don't watch any of the, MSDNC and CNN. I can't watch those stations. They're horrible. And same thing with ABC. You put it on in the morning, Good Morning America, and it's like, why? They are supposed to be anchors that are supposed to be impartial. They're supposed to be able to, talk about both different sides, and they're just having colossal meltdowns. And they're always attacking the president. I mean, he's not gotten a fair share in 4 years. It has been ridiculous listening to them. And every day, it's the same, attack.
Yeah, and I'll bet you $1.05 that the people that are railing against him now and just trying to drag him through his character through the coals as much as they can are the same sycophants that had no problem sidling right up to him at any of his galas and banquets and fundraisers and parties and everything else before he became president. Everybody loved Donald Trump.
Yes.
They didn't care about his Queens, New York City attitude and accent or any of that. This is Donald Trump.
Yeah, he's the same person.
In awe of him because he just gets things done.
He's the man. Well, he's a businessman.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to be cutthroat and hard. But that's how you are an established, look at him. He's just the best businessman when it comes to, and he knows he's made mistakes. And that's what happens when you have a business. You make mistakes, you learn from them, and you profit off of, making better decisions next time. And that's what he's done. He's an incredible, incredible human being. And they can't stand it. How can a normal, hardworking, I will say he's hardworking. They all want to say, he was given this from his dad. And it's like, no. Look at everything that you guys have gotten given to you. And these establishment candidates that need, another thing that we do need is term limits with these people. He came in and he just changed everything. It's like, no, enough with this. I'm really going to drain the swamp. And he's exposed it. I've been exposing the rhinos in Massachusetts. These are things that we have to change because they're going to destroy our country.
Did you ever happen to see, I don't know, a couple of years ago, there was a clip floating around, like maybe 5 years before Trump even decided probably to run for presidency. He may have already planned this out anyway, but he was on The View. And he was just talking about kind of how things are going and so on and so forth. I don't remember if that was his announcement that, or one of the mediums where he announced he was going to run for president. I think this was a couple of years before that. Anyway, they could not get close enough to him just to get close to him.
And they hate
like Donald
him.
Trump's in the studio. Oh my God, and Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar. I used to like Whoopi Goldberg as an actress, not anymore.
Yeah.
But
It's
they would just suck right up to him.
They all did.
And
Same thing with
now-
the celebrities, with the music.
Yeah.
Every song was want to be in like Trump, just like Trump, dressed like Trump. Everything was always like Trump.
Well, the rappers have certainly
Yeah.
been coming out in groves to stand behind it because they like his message. That it resonates with them.
It took them long enough.
Hmm?
It took them long enough.
Yeah, well, I think it took Kanye West to kind of be the one to stand forward and center. Although I wouldn't really call him a rapper, but
Yeah.
I mean he's kind of in the
Kanye's
hip hop,
kind of-
R&B genre
Yeah.
of music, I'd say. But
But then Ice Cube came around,
yeah, Ice Cube.
so it was interesting.
Well, I think maybe with Kim Kardashian, really, has gotten that exclusive access to the White House for a while.
Yeah.
With or without Kanye, and just she's had friends that were sent to jail with excessive sentences for petty crimes.
Yeah.
And
Only president to want to change
a
that.
joint in your
Yeah.
compartment in your car.
Yeah, 5
Bam,
like,
15
little
years in
tiny-
prison.
Yeah,
You know?
and they never fixed this. Like he went in to
And-
fix that, but
Yeah.
yet there's still people. Well, we were trapped in our houses, and they're trapped in jail, and they're releasing the rapists and murderers and violent offenders because of COVID. But they weren't releasing the people that were, like you said, that had those minor drug offenses, and I mean they were releasing people with gun crimes. Like, why you think that if you release somebody that is a gun offense, they're not going to go back out there and get another gun and reoffend? Come on.
Yeah, they had 25 more years left to mend their ways and learn their lessons. Well, no, not anymore. And now they're back out on the street. God knows where. Unless they're wearing monitor bracelets or something.
No, they're not doing any of that. And now they want to change
not
those
in any kind of
practices. No.
Work program,
I think
rehabilitation program.
They're supposed to. You're supposed to check in, but
wow. Yeah, the honor system.
you
Right.
know, yeah, that's the the radical left for us, what they want to do, and now it's just seeing what they're doing with the election is ridiculous. Like, come on, we know he won Pennsylvania. And then we got Marty Walsh out there like, how can anybody go to stop counting the ballots? I'm like, because those are false ballots that they're now trying to bring in. And him, I can't stand Marty Walsh. Like, where were you, Marty? He wore his mask, a Biden mask which is completely illegal to vote. You're not supposed to wear any type of political references to your candidates. And this is the mayor.
Well, he wears himself out on his sleeve anyway, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, then I guess maybe he can get away with it.
Oh, he's just.
It seems to have worked, but
the same. Yeah, that's Massachusetts, and we just really gotta change it, and that's why I'm still fighting for it and in there, and it's hard. It really is hard being in such a heavy blue state, and you
I imagine I don't envy you at all. I do not. Politics just turns my stomach. I used to like talking politics with people, and I wasn't trying to win an argument or change anybody's way of thinking or I gotcha now or anything like that. It was just something to talk about because down the road it will impact our lives. We won't see it today or maybe this year or next year, but in the coming years it will, and it takes people by surprise because people have short memories and history is long. So it's like, whoa, where did this all of a sudden come from?
Yes.
This big policy change that.
They did it at 2:00 in the morning when you weren't paying attention.
Yeah, 4 years ago in the last election. It's like, well, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So that's
Exactly. Like, he's got Pennsylvania, and they won't allow it. Like, what is going on with that? He's leading huge in Pennsylvania, and they're like, no, we're not going to have the count until, what did they say, Friday morning.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm like, okay, I'll just wait till Friday morning and see that Donald Trump is president again.
Yeah, well, then what are they going to push? No, wait, we have to recount these. It's not going to be ready until Tuesday because, they don't do anything on the weekends.
I have to admit that when I think maybe Barack Obama ran for his first term presidency or maybe even the second, Donald Trump actually appeared out of nowhere. He was going to run. He tried, but he didn't get anywhere. I think it was just a test run.
To see what's going on.
He had nothing to lose or gain, so it wouldn't have mattered. But, he was the one. Where's his birth certificate? Where's his birth certificate? Where's his birth certificate?
Yeah.
Not many people remember that, but I do because that was a hot button topic for a couple of weeks on the talk radio I was listening to out of Boston.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, Donald Trump for president? Are you kidding me?
I thought that would be
bleep
amazing.
the expletive out of that, but that's what I said. It's like, no way. Get out of here. Get out of here. I didn't so much really care for him. It's just Donald Trump, of all people, really? I never would have guessed that
he would do it.
4 or 5 years ago, he would have been elected president.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just like, wow. Yeah, you really changed my perspective of the man.
And everything that he's done, he's just incredible. It's like, this is what a leader is supposed to do. He's supposed to work. 4 peace deals in the Middle East. And we literally could be sitting here watching and fighting for this for the next 4 years. So therefore...
But they're not ceasefires, they're peace deals.
Deals,
okay.
Yes. So these are actual... remember, there's never going to be peace in the Middle East.
Those are monumental achievements.
But, of course, you don't hear anything about it. You're never going to hear anything about it because the left controls the media and they control the narrative and they don't want the people to know all of the accomplishments and the great things that our president is doing. That's a problem. We've really focused on, if everybody could look around and focus on what he's actually done, his accomplishments. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you may not like his rhetoric, but he's harsh and he's brash and he's a New Yorker. Come on. Like, I feel the same way when I'm a Bostonian. We're not going to sugarcoat it for you all the time. Look what that's gotten us.
The station's co-owner, harsh, brash, and from New York City. There it is.
Yeah.
Wonderful guy. I love him to pieces. But that's just how New Yorkers are.
Yeah.
They're just a rough and tumble population of people. You don't mess with them.
Yeah, you got to go through a lot. Like when you're hardcore and you're born and raised there,
that's what you are. Hardcore.
You're hardcore, and your family's gone through so much. Like true Americans, true patriots have gone through so much, and that's what makes us tough. That's what makes us, we have that a little bit of a harder, brasher on the outside, but, we're sweet and soft inside. But we're go-getters, and we're fighters, and we know when things are wrong, and we're going to go and fix it. We're not just going to sit there and allow it to continue and happen. You gotta say, no, this is wrong. This is not how it should be. This is not the American way. Why can't we just love being Americans, having that American values, the American way? Really, they're trying to take out God and the Pledge of Allegiance off of our money. Like, that's what the Democrats want to do when they get in office. Seriously?
And it's funny you mentioned that because I was watching something last weekend about, it was basically kind of like a religious mini-mentory. It wasn't really like a documentary. It was just like a 12-minute thing and explaining atheism and politics. Well, atheisms don't go around. I'm speaking generally, so I'm probably going to get slapped down for being inaccurate, but atheists aren't the ones that are tearing the Ten Commandments off the courthouse walls. They're not the ones burning the flag. They're not. A lot of them celebrate Christmas.
Yeah.
They put up the decorations. They go through all the rigmarole of getting everything ready, and the reason why is because they like tradition.
Yes.
And that's what grounds you to your family. So I'm not concerned about atheists at all. Even an atheist believes in something.
Yeah.
So, but it's the people on the left that are just,
It's their way or no way. It has to be what they believe, how they believe it. You can't have your own. And how is that? That's communism.
Yeah, well, they don't know what communism is because those riots would never have happened. The military would have been sent out, rounded them all up, and you never would have seen them again.
Yeah.
That would have been the end of that, like Tiananmen Square.
Should have. It's what should have happened. It's what we should have not allowed this to happen. And now they're still rioting and calling for all votes to be counted, and it's just like, well, we want all legal votes to be counted, not these illegitimate, illegal votes that they're trying to pass in. And it's just crazy looking around. They're burning stuff. Again, no, we're going to start lighting things on fire, and we still don't even know, because they do know. They know that we've got 4 more years of President Trump, that they lost again. They lost seats. We still control the Senate, and nothing that they can do will matter. It's miserable. Like, if we just go back to, we need to fix what's happening now. I mean, holidays are coming up, and you can't have Thanksgiving. Wear a mask. Did you see everything? Just wear a mask. Limit your Thanksgiving to 10 people.
I don't know where I'm going to be on Thanksgiving, but maybe home, maybe at friends. I don't know. It's kind of one of those holidays. I either the chance to celebrate it with people, or I don't. But
it's that time of year.
The
holiday time where everybody really wants to be hanging out with their friends, their family, and now it's like everybody's.
Yeah, when they all just saw each other yesterday. It's like, I get it. It's the warmth of the holidays that inspires people to come together. It's that one part at the tail end of the year where you think you'd be able to wind down, but no, it's so heavily commercialized that you're going faster than you have been all year round.
Yes.
And then you're exhausted by the time you get to Christmas.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, everything's already out for Christmas and in the stores, and it's festive, but it's
Valentine's Day stuff will be out next week.
And we'll still be waiting for the tally to come in, and they're still going to be trying to find ballots they're going to pull out from places.
I really hope not, because if people are so inept they can't count, then go get a computer and something with a box like the kind that count money at a bank.
Yeah.
And just let it do all the counting.
This is what Common Core gets.
You guys can go home. We don't need you.
Yeah.
You can't count. So.
No. Well, this is what Common Core gets us. So we get we forgot how to count. Basically, they need all their little boxes and circles and dashes and lines, and then they can figure it out instead of just counting like normal people. And why aren't they allowing the actual workers to be there? The Republicans to stand over and voter ID. I heard some places were requiring voter ID.
I don't know if it's a national law.
I want to.
Or not. I think it should be.
I think it should be.
I don't know about New Hampshire. I'm actually embarrassed to say I don't really know a lot about New Hampshire politics. Again, I tune it out. I figure, well, New Hampshire politics, well, that's kind of the same as Wisconsin politics or Georgia politics or whatever. And it's all the same thing. It's just the same petty arguing and bickering and tug of war over policy. But
putting in the right policies, especially when you see that something's this is wrong, it's a bad practice, it's harming people. I mean, we really need voter ID, and I would be 100% behind getting that in a bill and putting it into law, because it needs to happen.
Yep,
we really do.
It ensures that if you don't have the proper ID to vote, you don't get the vote.
Yeah, making sure you're registered in the towns that you're voting in.
Yeah, so in New Hampshire, though, I mean, they ask you for your ID. I went to vote on Tuesday, and it was a fairly quick experience.
Yeah.
I had to, fill out a form, and my address changed. I'm still in the same building that I moved in, but I'm in a different apartment. That's really the only difference. And so if there's any problem with it. Oh, by the way, I'm probably going to get called to jury duty in a couple of weeks too. Every time I vote, I get a letter in the mail. You've been pulled from a lottery to go to jury duty. I've already been 2 times. Why do I need to go again?
Wait, do you go in
Guilty.
person?
Okay, can I go home now?
Because I figured they'd be putting all that on hold again.
Oh, that's right. The courts are closed.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's not going to happen.
Oh, thank God.
So there, you've got that nice break. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I know. No, I'd like to do my civic duty. I never get called because I have kids, and they probably see them Republican. Oh, a black Republican? Oh no, don't get her. But it's. I would definitely want to put voter ID in because there wasn't any. Well, people know me in my town, so.
Well, I don't know if illegals can get ordinary driver's license without having to
Yeah.
take a driver's test or even go to driver's school
Yep.
in America. Then I suppose they can get their hands on a voter ID,
That
voter
happened.
card.
Yeah, Massachusetts had a big problem with that.
I'm sure it can be forged somehow.
Oh, yeah.
Industrious individual can figure it out.
Again, they got people everywhere. Here, this is how we're going to screw the system. Yeah, there are a lot of people on the roads, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure you didn't have a license. You shouldn't have a license. Or how'd you get your license? You definitely shouldn't be driving. You can tell. They don't know what they're doing.
The people that come from countries that don't have a car culture.
Yes.
We do. We take pride in our automobiles. Our automotive infrastructure is built around the car.
Yeah.
And to make sure it sails across the road smoothly and efficiently and as fast as you can get it go without getting caught. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. But a lot of countries do not have an automotive infrastructure in place. They still drive down the side of the road with livestock and people on bikes, weaving in and out. I've actually seen that myself. So in South America.
Really? Oh,
And,
yeah. They do.
So the traffic system is horrendous.
I've seen that on TV.
It is horrible.
You're like, there's no lights. How do they figure out? They're like, just driving. Oh.
You are on your own.
Yeah. Yeah, at least we have around here sometimes you feel like you're in that situation. It's very dangerous. You're on your own.
If you're a pedestrian, it's even worse.
Yeah. I have almost, so when I was door knocking out here, I was walking on the grass and I still almost got ran over. I'm like, but I'm on the grass. Like, how much further could you? Yeah. It was like aimed at me. I don't know if it was because I was wearing Trump stuff, but.
Yeah. Yeah, most likely.
Well, that's not good.
It's not because I didn't like Obama. I didn't care. I'd not say I didn't like him personally. I never knew him, but I didn't care for his policies. I thought that they were subversive and undermining to the way our country should be.
Yes.
And it was all just to try to pull the rug out from under us.
Seriously. I still get checks from Obamacare that I never enrolled in because I had private health insurance. And I'm like, wait a minute, when did you take this money? I was like in taxes or something. Yeah.
So this was a refund?
Yeah.
Did you cash it?
Well, of course I
Okay, I
can't
just
give my
wanna be
money
sure.
back.
I wanna
I'm
be
like,
sure.
wait a second, but it was just sitting there wondering, whoa, wait,
I don't know anything about this money. I like to give it back.
I was like, they gave me, looking at it going, wait, from I don't have this insurance. It's like, from, you overpaid on your insurance. And I'm like, I never enrolled in this plan. Why are you taking money from me? Yeah, and it came out that we didn't know about. That's another thing with that Obamacare that went in and the individual mandate that I'm still getting money back. I mean, the president got rid of that.
Yeah.
But
well, you're still getting money.
I know.
Enjoy it while you can.
It's going to dry up soon. Well, you never know. They're still charging me for stuff I have no idea. But, that's what they want to do. They want to put in places policies that will hurt us and that hurt so many people. I mean, what we need is opening up state hospitals. These buildings that are dilapidated, and some of them can be fixed. Some of them can be restored. We've got great contract. I mean, look at the president's a builder. He probably knows so many people that can just come in, but you've got the governors and the mayors.
That is the central core of the problem right
Yeah.
there is that Trump. You have to go to Trump to get it. Not anything wrong with that, but it's because it's Trump. If it was anybody else, things would probably be getting done.
But they don't want to do it. They would have already done it. They had 8 years to fix up things. They let Baltimore burn.
It's exhausting when you spend every waking moment of your life hating Trump. You don't find the energy to do anything else.
I noticed. That's like what they wake up with, and they're just like Trump derangement syndrome, out of control. They can't do anything to help fix the country, to help bring people together, to open back up, to get these businesses back open. Can't do any of that because they hate the president, because all they see is...
It's their statement. It's their countercultural statement, and maybe, I guess, I don't know.
Well, I mean...
We're taking a stand against fascism. Well, don't stand there all day. I mean, people got to get through, so...
Okay, excuse me. Good luck with that.
We'll stand at home or something.
Yeah. And, they just come out and they want to destroy, and... I mean, I've never seen... So, one, we've never had so many standouts for a president ever. Ever. This was, like, unprecedented. The number of standouts throughout the country. Though the summer was so much fun with just smiling and waving and, being a trendsetter with the music. And it was great. It was so happy. But then you had all these protesters that are just like, we hate that you're happy. Well, why? Why don't, if you want to change it, you want your candidate, why don't you go have your own standouts for your candidate? You can't do that because you guys don't even know what you want.
COVID-19, don't you understand? Haven't you been paying attention?
Yes.
COVID-19.
We want
have a
everything
mask
free. Oh, yeah. The scream. I love the people that take their mask off and wave it at you. Where's your mask? They're like, well, why would you take yours off to wave it at me? Or the CDC still saying, please cover your cough in your mask.
I'm waiting for somebody to come up to me. I've thought this out. This is going to be the perfect comeback line to somebody who says, "You're not wearing a mask, or is it?" I don't know if I should say it or not.
I'm ready for it now. You can't tease it.
I'd say, okay, well, do you want to guess what else I'm not wearing right now?
There you go. And they're just like, oh, how dare you? I'm so offended.
Yeah.
Cancel culture. He offended me.
Yeah. Cancel culture.
Yeah. No, if you said that, they'd just be like, are you sexually harassing me?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Please just get away from me. You're within like 12 inches of where I'm standing. You're supposed to be 6 feet away and beyond. 60 miles would be better.
That's another funny thing. So they always come up right to your face and go, where's your mask? It's like, but wait, what happened to 6 feet? You just come right up to me or tap me.
I'm going to start saying 2 meters. 2 meters, back up.
Oh, seriously. I'm going to go walk around with one of those meter sticks that you can keep folding out.
Well, just so you know, 1 meter is roughly equivalent to 1 yard.
Yeah.
So.
Do they even make meter sticks anymore?
Oh, yeah.
I got to go to Home Depot.
I think we should go to the metric system. It's a lot easier to crunch the numbers.
Ew. No.
Why?
I was horrible at metric.
Well, I hate fractions, so there.
I like fractions, kind of.
Well, then you can play around with the imperial system, and I'm going to go over to the metric system.
Oh, I think that's the best way for our kids to learn. You gotta learn adding, subtracting, multiplication, division, geometry. I mean, trigonometry, but algebra. I used to love word problems.
I hated word problems.
Well, you got to figure it out.
What?
Yeah.
I guess.
Make your brain think.
Yeah. I understand that now, but at the time, I'm like, because I have a hard time visualizing numbers in my head, so I can't always do math very well in my mind because the numbers just sort of evaporate out of my mind's eye, and I can't follow through the problem to the solution.
Yeah.
So I'm digging for a calculator or a piece of paper. I have to see it in static form on something to be able to do it. And there are people I know who can do like long division in their head. It's like, how do you do that?
I can do like a certain amount, but then once it gets to like too big of numbers, no, I can't do it in my head. I need to, but I can do some, but no, I like to write it out.
Yeah.
It's good, because I need to see it and make sure that, and then I can double check it. Like when I'm in my head, going back and double checking, you do the whole thing again. Where if I'm looking at it on paper, I'm like, oh, there's where I made my mistake, and go back. So
yeah. I've gotten a little better at kind of doing math in my head. I try to. So sometimes if I go into the store, 30% off sale price. All right. So yeah, you can figure it out, but it's
but then
so it's like I don't know, maybe it's like a meditation, or it's like you're trying to focus your mind, like you're trying to see it there.
Yeah.
The way you would see it on a chalkboard or a piece of paper.
That's how I do it. I visualize it.
my mind just does not want to. It gets it and then it's gone. I still know what the problem is, but I just cannot arrange it in my mind so that I can follow through the steps of adding, subtracting, dividing,
Right.
whatever to get to the answer.
Oh, I'm homeschooling my
And then
kids.
God help me if I have to break it down to its lowest common denominator.
Yeah. We're doing that now with because I'm homeschooling my kids. So they're just like, my daughter, we're starting multiplication next week. So she's in 3rd grade. So, it builds up to it and we start it next week. And she's like, I'm scared. I'm like, why, Hannah? You pretty much already know how to do most of this. And, she's a little nervous about, like, there's no reason to be nervous. It's just multiplying is just adding a bunch of numbers faster.
Yeah.
It's just, it was like when with my other one, my oldest, my 5th grader, when she learned multiplication, we were like, and then she went to division. She's like, I'm getting confused. And I'm like, well, it's multiplication reversed. So then she was like, okay.
Yeah.
You say reversed and they get it.
I memorized the multiplication table.
Yes, we had
once
to.
I figured out, okay, so 7 times 3 is 21, so that's 7 counted out once, twice, 3 times.
Yes.
And then you get to 3 times. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, I get it.
But that's what we had to do. They don't do that as much. Like, we were grilled on that in school, and I think that's something, we need to bring those practices back.
It's quite obvious, too, when you go to deal with them as cashiers in stores, and they don't know how to count your money back.
Yeah.
So that's sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
It's
and they're
like
looking.
You can't count up to the next whole dollar on the change?
No, they cannot. And we had to do that. I remember that was my first, one of my first jobs was, of course, like everybody in the supermarket, and you're a cashier, and you're just like, that was before the machines told you they changed, and you were having to do it in your head. And that was the challenge, to make sure that you got it right and you weren't short, especially when you're like a couple cents off and you're like, come on, seriously? But yeah, we need to bring that back. These children need to learn properly, get rid of Common Core. We're going to be, when our president and everybody sees that he won, we're going to really go after the teachers union. Well, I'm definitely going after them, but getting rid of this Common Core.
It's still around, really?
Yeah.
Is it in every school or just certain?
In Massachusetts, it's in every school. Well, no, I can't say that. Some of the Catholic schools have to put it in, some have not. So I guess it depends on the school system and what they want. But I hate it. I don't understand it at all. I'm looking at it. And
Wait a
I'm
minute,
like,
you didn't take Common
No.
Core in high school or college or anything. You're saying it's your kids who
My
are...
kids.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, man, I feel for them. I've seen examples of how the problems are worked out. It's like, okay, it makes sense.
It does not make sense to me at all.
But it's far quicker to just say 2 times 2 is 4. Next problem.
Instead of drawing out all of these boxes and lines and
yeah, it's got to be like a table placemat puzzle or something you'd have when you sit down in a diner. It's got to go from one corner to the other all the way back and around.
hey, they used to have
It
those.
took you 20 minutes just to figure out, well, you were wrong.
Yeah.
That's how I perceive Common Core. And that's just from my own ignorance. It's not because I actually know anything about it. It's just...
It's horrible.
But,
It really is horrible.
I believe you.
But
I
that's
don't
what
think I've
you
ever
get.
heard any praise of it in his favor. So.
But that's what we get when we get, Marty Walsh in control as the mayor. You got Hitler Baker in control. He's not doing anything to help anybody except for putting us in a lockdown. 10 o'clock Friday. Can't go out.
You have to be off. So you're essentially under house arrest.
Yeah, again. I'm like, screw you. Nobody's going to do it. Like, you just can't. No.
Walk the streets.
Civil
disobedience.
Yes.
You're not really causing a problem, but you're not going to let.
This is the only time I can get out and stretch my legs. Sorry. No, it's not happening. Like, enough's enough. Like, we've got the best president who's going to be doing amazing things for our country. Pennsylvania has got to realize that he won because he's up there. We've got the numbers. I don't want to fight this for the next 4 years, but if we have to, we will. And then we'll just vote for him for 4 more years, since this was basically, it would have been of actual election that was never decided. So let's continue fighting this for 4 more years, and then we'll have our president for another 4 years after that.
No, I think they just take it right straight to court. If it was going to be that prolonged, like, oh, you can't come up with a number? How many times are you going to count this stuff until you get a solid number that everybody agrees on?
Because they're going to keep they're going to keep saying, oh, no, we found this. Oh, no, there's this. And, I mean, it's ridiculous what's happening right now.
Then those people or schools or whatever should never be allowed to handle ballots again.
Yeah.
Through the indoor and out the back door. It's like, sorry.
That's exactly what needs to happen. I mean, you got to vote in person. We should never have to do this ever again. We see that this is a problem. There's too much corruption. We've seen it when I was running in the primary. It was way too much corruption with them having a Saturday where they're called in to recount ballots. And what happens? I didn't get a single one out of all of those mail-in ballots when I know for a fact the people had taken pictures and said they wrote me in, and it didn't change. The number didn't change. I was like, that's fraud. It's complete fraud. And they're the ones in control of it, and they won't let you in to watch it. And then same thing with counting. I want to see the actual ballots. I want to see them. I don't want what you put in the machine. I want to see them. Get into that filing cabinet where they are, that closet warehouse, wherever you have it. I want to see all those ballots. Because I guarantee you, I should have been on the ballot. They knew it. They were afraid. And the same thing goes for what's happening right now. They know it. They're afraid. And they're trying to change what a duly elected president yet again. And just like they kept me off the ballot, but they're not going to do it again. It's never going to happen again because we're ready. My campaign starts right now. Everybody needs to know that. Go onto my website, RaylaForCongress.com, donate. We're getting up. We're going. We're going to do ads, TV ads, radio ads, commercials, everything. We're going to do billboards. You're going to see my face for the next 2 years. You're never going to be tired of me because I'm always going to have a new fabulous outfit to wear.
Fabulous you are. I do have to admit that.
Thank you.
Always stylish and...
I got to fight. Got to fight for what's right. American values, the American way.
You
American
look
people.
Fresh and new, never tired and worn out.
Exactly.
That's when the wolves move in.
Yes. And they are waiting. And they're looking around thinking, she's knocked down. She's out. She's not coming back. I'm coming back bigger and stronger, baby. Better be ready for it.
Year after year. Slow and steady wins the race.
Yes. I'm excited, though. I'm excited to, next 2 years, we're really going to go after them. And the president... I'm so pumped. He's going to have 4 more years, and I hope that we can keep fighting this right now and then give him 8 more years.
Is this a prediction based on current numbers right now?
He's won, yeah. He's got it.
Yeah, okay. Because I haven't found it yet. So.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. You've been listening to the Rayla Campbell Show live on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM, also live on the web at WSMN.live, and also on my Facebook. I can't wait to see you guys next week. We'll be back. Have a good weekend.
WSMN 1590, WSMN 95.3 FM Nashua. Listen, watch, and stream at WSMN.live.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Dozens of President Trump supporters converged on a vote counting center in Arizona as election staff continued to go through uncounted ballots. The protesters, some of whom the local TV station ABC 15 Arizona reported were carrying guns. Representative Paul Gosar, an Arizona Republican, joined the crowd declaring, "We're not going to let this election be stolen, period." Arizona has been called by some media outlets for the Democratic challenger Joe Biden, who holds a 69,000 vote lead. Pro-Trump protests witnessed in Michigan and Pennsylvania, where Trump supporters called for vote counts to be halted. Protesters in Phoenix have been chanting, "Stop the steal." Police in Portland, Oregon say the Oregon National Guard was called into the city to help police after protests in the city turned violent Wednesday night. In the interest of public safety, Governor Kate Brown, under the advice of the Unified Command, has activated the use of the Oregon National Guard to assist law enforcement, the agency said in a tweet. USA Radio News.
Balance of Nature's fruits and vegetables in a capsule, changing the world one life at a time.
When I first switched over, because I stopped taking the other supplements I was taking and switched over all the way to Balance of Nature, I really noticed a huge difference. It was amazing. Like better sleep, better attention, better energy. It was just really, really great.
Balance of Nature is now offering 35% off on any new preferred order. Go to balanceofnature.com today and use discount code USA.
Can you believe after all the recent violent protests, looting, and destruction, some communities are considering either defunding or abolishing the police? If you agree that now is the time when police protection is needed most, then it's time we stand up and support your local police and the communities they serve. Call 800-JBS-USA-1 and request your free Support Your Local Police info packet. That's 800-JBS-USA-1 and request your free Support Your Local Police info packet today.
Rhode Island is no longer known as the smallest state with the longest name. Voters in the Ocean State, formerly known as Rhode Island and Providence Plantations, approved a ballot measure to remove and Providence Plantations from the state's official name. Rhode Island's sole black senator, Harold Metz, in the wake of the George Floyd protests earlier this year, put the measure on the ballot. At the time, Metz called the name a hurtful term to so many of us due to the word plantation and its ties to slavery. Unemployed Americans want to know, where's the money? USA Radio News, Tim Berg explains.
With the election still hanging in the balance, Senate Majority Leader from Kentucky, Mitch McConnell, says another stimulus package should be passed before the end of the year.
We need another rescue package. The Senate goes back in session next Monday. Hopefully the partisan passions that prevented us from doing another rescue package will subside.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has been negotiating directly with Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin as Senate Republican leaders have remained largely on the sidelines.
Working from home? I'm Chad Dodd, veterinarian and consultant to Limp Bells. Here are some tips for keeping your dog fit while staying at home. Find 15 minutes twice a day and walk your pet at a decent pace around your place. Play hide and seek by hiding some kibble or favorite toys and letting your dog find them. If you have stairs and your dog is mobile, walk up and down twice a day for 5 to 10 minutes. Or better yet, try a power walk on your terrace or backyard for some fresh air. There are more helpful pet care tips at youmove.com, spelled YOUMOVE.com.
NASCAR's Jimmy Johnson